Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Again, I'm going to address this fairly early in the video, but I'm wearing the same thing that I was wearing in my last few videos, and that's basically because I'm filming this all on the same day and just going to slowly upload these and edit them. And I just genuinely didn't think you guys would care that much if I got changed for each video. And so here I am in the same jumper that I have been wearing for the past 4 videos, and I feel like that's not going to be the topic of this video, so it doesn't matter. So if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Jess. I am a mum of a 14-month-old and I have a little baby on the way in August. So I will be one of those 2 under 2 mums. I'm also obviously on YouTube, and I would love if you could click that subscribe button down below and stick around so you can see more mum and baby videos, because if you're clicking on this video, you're probably a mum or to be a mum. And the first thing I want to say is congratulations if you are a new mum or going to be a mum. And let's jump straight into the new mum tips. So this is basically things I'm going to try and stick by next time, or things I would tell myself as a new mum or any new mum that I meet. So I've got a little bit of a list and let's jump into it. First thing is let go of the shoulds, and this one is so important because you don't realize how much that you have affected your mental health having a baby. And the first thing you worry about is you should do things, and all the should things you should do, all the things your child is supposed to do. And every baby is different, every parent is different. You know, if your baby is happy and healthy and so are you, then what you are doing is obviously working. And so let go of all those shoulds. You know, you should breastfeed or you should bottle feed. Depending on where you come from, it goes either way. You do what works for you. Your child should do this or that at a certain age. For example, my child spoke really early. However, he did not crawl until 10 months. So there is no shoulds. And I think letting go of those will make your mummyhood and your first experience as a mum so much less stressful, especially when it comes to breastfeeding and stuff. You know, you do what works for you. Touching on that subject again, fed is best. Now, especially here in Australia, they really push that breast is best, you should breastfeed. You know, they're really pushy for that, and it puts a lot of stress on new mums because breastfeeding is hard at the beginning. I know because I did breastfeed my son until he was 7 months old, before we had to transition him to formula due to some health concerns that I had, or health issues that I had. However, like, he does just as well on formula as he did on breast milk. And you know, you can't look at a baby and say they're formula fed or breastfed. Like, there's just, you can't really tell. And yeah, you need to just stick by what works for you. Breastfeeding is very difficult, and for some women it is not possible, or is very difficult. And you know, your baby is still happy and healthy, and as long as you are happy and healthy, then that is all that really matters. Fed is best. A fed happy baby is a fed happy mommy. My next tip is something that's make a routine as early as you can. So my son was in a very good bedtime routine. At about 6 weeks, we started trying to get him into that. And that was, you know, bath, bottle or breast milk, you know, white noise, cuddle, teddy, asleep. And obviously your routine could be completely different. You know, I tried to get him into good nap routines, all that sort of stuff. And babies change, so your routine will change all the time. But our bedtime routine has not since 6 weeks. So setting yourself up for that routine, I think, is a great way for you to get that peace of mind that this is what's going to happen at the end of the day. And it's a real calming effect. Babies love routine, and new mums should too, trust me. If you would like to buy the baby thing, the baby stuff, the baby clothes, whatever it is, as long as it's within your means, then go ahead. Do not let someone guilt you into not being able to buy something that you want for your child, especially being a first-time mum. do not let them guilt you out of it, because, you know, I got so many people that said, you have too many newborn clothes, blah blah blah, your child's never going to wear them all. Lachlan was a small baby. He wore all of his newborn clothes, all of them. In fact, we actually had to go out and buy tiny baby clothes because he was in newborn, he was too small for newborn, and then he was in newborn for absolutely ages. And so it's just depends on your baby. You know, don't let them talk you out of buying that cute blanket or out of that cute onesie out of guilt. You know, if you really want those things, buy them. You're only going to do this, you know, you're not going to do that this many times. You're only going to be a parent so many times, and you're only going to be a first mom once. Cuddle and hold your baby as much as you want. You can never overhold or overcuddle your baby. Like, I always got that all the time with my son. You hold him too much, blah, 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 blah. My son is a very happy, independent little boy who right now is not happy because he doesn't want to be in the playpen area. But he is a very happy, independent little boy, and I don't think me holding him made him any less happy. In fact, he just felt more loved, I suppose, than if I was allowed to hold him for a certain amount of time. That's just, you hold your baby and you cuddle them as much as you want, because they're only going to be little for once. A co-sleeper or a dock-a-tot or something like that might be your best friend. We didn't buy anything like this before Lachlan was born. We were adamant he was going to sleep in a bassinet next to our bed. Except Lachlan had different ideas. So when he came home, and as soon as we tried to put him in his bassinet, he would scream bloody murder. Lachlan had reflux, and he wanted to be pretty much attached all the time, and that's just not possible if he sleeps in a different bed. We ended up buying a co-sleeper that I'll leave linked down below. We've bought a dock-a-tot for this baby. They might save your life, especially if you are breastfeeding, because you don't have to get up, go get them, feed them, and then put them back. It's just so much easier. Following along with that, don't judge somebody who does something that you don't do. So don't judge somebody who co-sleeps, don't judge somebody who doesn't. You know, don't judge somebody who bottle feeds, or for example, we co-slept with a pod for quite some time. Don't judge somebody who put their baby in their cot straight away. You know, every baby is different, every person is different. If you have not been in their shoes, if you have not been in their bed at night, if you have not been in their situation, if your baby is different to theirs, you cannot judge what they do, because you might have had a fantastic sleeping baby who slept in their cot from day one, but somebody else did not. And you do what gets you through and what gets you the most sleep. And, you know, don't judge that from somebody. I know that's really easy to say and hard to do sometimes, but as a new mum, like, it's challenging, and you just do what works. This is specifically for breastfeeding mums, so if you are not breastfeeding, just skim past this part. But if you are breastfeeding, my major tip would be to pump straight away. There's this big stigma that you should not pump until you are 6 weeks, and that's because your milk is supposed to like steady out at 6 weeks. That was rubbish. Like, I did that with my son, and then I could never leave. I could never go anywhere. He was attached all the time. I never got even like an hour or two to go out by myself, because he fed every 2 hours, and I just didn't get any freedom. Like, I had to take him everywhere with me, which is fine, but as a new mum, even as a new mum, you still need sometimes an hour or so to do something. I couldn't even have a shower without him wanting to feed sometimes, and so it's just draining, and it's horrible for your mental health. Pumping straight away will give you that milk supply increase, which, you know, everyone wants slightly more milk, and then on top of that, it gives you also that peace of mind that there is milk that you can freeze or you can put in the fridge, that if you need to leave your baby on the occasion, you can. And so that is 100% my first thing I'm going to be doing with my child, my son this time, is I have a pump, and I will be using it as early as I physically can when I'm not too tired. So pump, it's only going to give you more milk. Obviously, if you have an oversupply, that is going to be a different issue altogether, and you need to see a lactation consultant about that. But for the majority of people who do not get an oversupply of milk, pumping is only going to be good for you. Not all babies are going to love the stuff you buy for them. So, for example, my son absolutely despised his swing. It was a gift, and we are going to try and use it with our next baby. It's sitting right in front of me actually. But because my son had reflux, every time it would swing down, obviously all the milk would come up, and so he hated his swing. He loved his bouncer, which again was a gift, but it was a bouncer is much more affordable than a swing. So just beware that just because somebody else's baby loves something doesn't mean yours will. The swing that we got given was something that everybody recommended it to us. Everybody who saw it, they had friends or family friends or whatever who loved the swing, and my son probably sat in that thing like 5 times. Just beware that not all babies are the same, and your baby might not like something just because you've spent a lot of money on it. Reflux is very common and it sucks. So most or a lot of babies will have reflux because the valve in their throat is really, really immature and milk comes back up. Most babies though are happy chuckers, which is what they call them, and they will spit up happily. It doesn't cause them any pain or discomfort, and they are quite happy. However, my son was one of the few that was not, and it used to cause him a severe amount of pain. His was actually related to a dairy allergy, which I will talk about in a second. However, it sucks. So I actually have a whole video talking about reflux and baby tips for reflux, which I'll leave linked down below if you guys want to check it out. However, it doesn't last forever, I will say that, but it feels like it does. And until you can get seen or until you can get medication for it, if your child does have reflux, gripe water is life-changing. Also with reflux, similar sort of thing, seeing a baby chiropractor was absolutely game-changing for us. My son came out in quite a quick birth, I think they consider it. He was born in like 7 and a bit hours from start to finish, I think it was. What the hospital considered me as in labor for 7 and a bit hours. And so he was a quick birth, and so he actually had some sort of muscle tension in his back from not being in the birth canal for very long. And seeing a baby chiropractor was absolutely amazing. After our first consultation, my son stopped vomiting as much, he stopped being as fussy, and he started not crying in the car every time we put him in the car. So if you have those issues with your baby and you've ruled out everything else, checking out a baby chiropractor, obviously get one who is legitimate, who is recommended. If you guys are from Melbourne, Australia, I'm more than happy to recommend mine to you. Please just leave me a comment and I'll leave you who it is. But it is so necessary, and I promise you they do not crack bones or anything like that. He uses, at least mine uses pressure points. They put a little bit of pressure on a certain point in their body and just makes the world of difference. So that was that. And also dairy allergies can affect reflux. My son still has a dairy allergy. We are still seeing in the process of seeing specialists to get it, checked out, tested, all that sort of stuff. And so if your child has really bad reflux, it is worth taking dairy out of their diet, whether it be the formula they're using. I know that there's quite a few dairy safe formulas. We use the Novalac allergy formula, which is dairy free. It's a rice-based formula. In the US, I know they have Alimentum, I think it's called. I think that's their dairy-free formula. But definitely trying that. Or also, if you're breastfeeding, cutting dairy out of your diet. All forms of dairy. Anything with the milk protein in it needs to be cut out for a couple weeks. It's like 2 or 3 weeks before you will see a result. But with my son, it was day and night difference. Definitely worth looking into. The next one is trust your instincts. Now this is sort of in regards to my reflux thing. My little boy would scream day and night, horrific screaming, to the point where you know, we were questioning everything, what was causing it, what it was, all that sort of stuff. And the issue is nobody would believe me. You know, as a first time mum, you get the whole spiel of babies cry and purple crying and blah 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 blah. I heard it all. It wasn't until that they actually started treating him for reflux and we cut dairy out that we saw a life-changing difference. And if I hadn't stuck to my guns about that, we could still have an absolutely miserable baby, and we would have had that for a long time. So please trust your instincts. You are a mum. If you think there is something wrong, genuinely something wrong, it does not hurt to get it checked out a second time by a second specialist or a second doctor. Obviously within reason. I know people who have checked out absolutely ridiculous things and you sort of shake your head at them because you're like, why? But obviously every mum is different and you're going to worry different levels. But if you legitimately think there is something that is causing issues with your baby, get it checked out. It's only going to give you peace of mind. Following up, ask questions. Especially as a new mum, ask as many questions as you want. Stupid questions that you think, you know, your question might seem stupid to you, but it could be incredibly important and it could give you so much more peace of mind, because your mental health as a new mum is so fragile that things can really build up and give you anxiety and depression and all of those things. And like, I did suffer with postpartum depression, so I understand that. And so you need to ask questions. You need to ask people, you know, if you need to see somebody, a maternal health nurse or a lactation consultant, a doctor, ask questions that you are worried about. It will just make you feel so much better when you've actually spoken out loud to somebody about your concern. And secondary to that, ask and accept help. This is my last point in my video, but it's probably one of my more important ones, and that is something that I did not do. I did not accept help as much as I probably should have when my son was a newborn. And then I fell into the trap of when people would come over and they would help. It would be, they would take Lachlan and sit on the couch and think they were helping me by letting me do the washing, the cooking, the cleaning, the, you know, everything. And that's not helping. That is not helpful by any means. If you have someone coming to your house to help you, they need to let you relax with the baby. You have a sleep, whatever it is, and they need to do things for you. They can bring food, they can do housework, they can help with the washing. It doesn't have to be massive, but even just packing your dishwasher, putting some washing on, takes them 5 minutes and it will be the absolute world of difference for you. So please don't fall into that trap, and I will be definitely trying next time not to fall into that trap, because we did, and it made it a lot harder when you're not accepting help from anybody and you are struggling to begin with. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys have new tips for new mums, please leave them in the comments down below, because if you're watching this video, you probably are a new mum or you have some great tips to leave for one. So thank you so much for watching. If you guys are new to my channel, like I said, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. Let me know if you found this helpful. If you want more videos for new mums, I've got a whole bunch that I've got planned if you guys want to see them. And yeah, have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!